Good morning, everybody. Today I would like to talk to you guys about some belt pouches. So stay tuned. I think you guys will relatively enjoy these, so we'll get right to it. All right, everybody. Now this one here was a Christmas gift, I do believe. I'd originally bought this one. I just put a little Night Eyes S-Beaner on it. This one's made a little different. It had this little tab. Now this is, I believe, a faux leather. This is really thin. It doesn't feel like it's real leather to me. We have a snap closure. It's a pretty decent one. Now the whole premise behind this thing is this thing folds down and out, and what you end up having is a nice pouch. Now this also has drawstrings on the side, so typically, you're going to wear this thing on your belt. There's your belt loop built into that, and you'll stuff little items in here. And I think this one has, this one actually has two little front pockets kind of sewed into it. And inside here, we have quite a decent bit of room. Now, I do believe these are going around somewhere in the neighborhood of 12, 15 bucks. Now our drawstring closure, real simple. That's just a cinch it shut for us. And that could come in handy depending on what we're picking up. Now, what I do like about these, let's say I'm out and I'm foraging. Now it could be as simple as I'm looking for some food or fire starting material. I'm looking for that really good tender source. And this right here would come in handy. And like I said, the big bonus is when I don't need to use this, I can have it folded up and snap closed, and it takes up very little space on your belt. So let me real quick here, we'll take the camera down and I'll fold this thing back up for you. Pretty simple procedure, nothing too fancy. All you want to do is just simply fold it. Make sure that drawstring's not bunched tight, because that will interfere with that just a little bit. I mean, it's nothing too crazy major, but we'll try to make that as nice and tight and compact as possible. Now we simply fold up the bottom part. So the bottom piece fold up, and that's our bottom snap closure. And voila. I didn't do a perfect job there. I'm going to try to neaten that up just a little bit. There we go. And just like that, we've reduced the size of this thing quite a bit. Now, this little part here, little tab that sticks out, it's not super thick, but it is got two lines of stitching through there. My original thought was for easy on and off access. I was thinking about the little S-Beaner, but I don't know. May not be the safest option. If this faux leather was, I'm going to at least say 2, preferably 3 times as thick and genuine leather. Even if it would have increased the cost of the item, I would have paid an extra 5, maybe even $8 for the better leather. But, is what it is, as I say. Now, the other one, real quick, almost forgot about him. Now, like I said, this is the same faux leather. It's got the same belt loop thing. Now, these snap. The other one snaps too, by the way. So you can either put this on while your belt's on, if you wish. This one here seems to be a little bit better quality snaps too. They look the same, but these are much stiffer, and I prefer that to be very difficult to take off. Now, I would actually prefer that this thing was literally sewed across there. I don't like to I have a chance to easily lose things, especially if they're attached to my belt and I am walking through the woods, and there's always a chance to snag, or a chance if you slip and fall, you could end up losing your items off your person. But this could be also used, say, as an emergency backup to the snap closures for your belt. You could not use this and just simply use a piece of cordage, run it off, and tie it off to your belt too. So if these did fail, you have this, at the very least, to catch this from falling, which is why I do like this one a little bit better than this one. Now, the material seems to be similar. This is like a wax canvas, which is actually the bag inside this one is very well made. Nice heavy-duty wax canvas. This doesn't have the little side pouches on the front, or the front pouches like the Olive Grappling does, but it's still pretty well made. This oiled, or not oiled, I think it's a wax canvas, is somewhat water resistant, and it's very tough and durable. And like the other one, we have a drawstring closure. This material is real stiff, so that's actually quite difficult to pull that taut. But once it's pulled taut, it's taut. Kind of works both ways. And I'm really not sure what that's for, but it's there. So now you can always ask yourself before you get an item like this and you like the looks of it. It's not an unfair question. Is this item for me? Do I want or need it? Well, now the question is, you could always do with less if your skills are honed very sharp, especially for your living area, your state. You may not necessarily need a little possum bag like this, but I kind of like this because it gives me an out-of-the-way option for another carrying vessel, and that could really come in handy. Like I said, now my only complaints about that is the quality of this faux leather that they're using. This stuff is incredibly thin. I don't think its lifespan would be very great, and I'm sure very cold weather, and you're constantly going out of a wet, cold environment into like a heated environment, say like you got a campfire or wood stove in the cabin. I would dare say that this material will not be long for the world. Now, I've never had an item made like this. I've always had little possible bags, go bags, and all that kind of stuff, your normal stuff, even when I was younger, but never, I've had fanny packs and the like. I've, just sling bags, but nothing like this, like a dedicated folding belt pouch. I do like them, but my recommendation, now I've had a conversation on this channel before about rate versus weight, and then there's also, you can kind of equate that to price, whereas the price of these are pretty decent. There is sometimes there's this unavoidable truth that you get what you pay for. Now, I will say that, like I said, now the bags that come into these canvas material, they are very well made. The drawstrings are perfectly fine and functional. If you can find these, and you can find one that is built better with the leather accoutrements that come on it, even if it costs a bit more, I would suggest you go that route. And it's because what these represent is you're most likely going to be foraging. You're either going to have food, precious fire-making materials, and stuff you don't want to lose. You may end up just hey, this is just going to be a real quick possibles pouch for me. I'm going to leave base camp, so I'm going to go ahead and take one or two of these, stuff them full of what I need for my journey. Maybe one of them's got some irreplaceable emergency kit in it, and you got one spare one for gathering. Either way, you don't really want to put yourself in a situation where you could lose those items, because look at this thing. Look how thin that is, guys. I don't really particularly trust that. Now, if this had been some instead of this faux leather, if they went like a a very thick, heavy duty, like ripstop material, almost kind of similar to what seatbelt or towing strap material is made out of. I'd much preferred it than this faux leather, despite the look. I don't even care what color it was. But, you got to have something tough and durable, because we're running under the assumption a lot of times it's kind of always either the bushcraft thing or the survival thing. So your gear has got to at least be able to handle the elements and hold up to abuse. Now, whereas these are awful handy and convenient items, I don't feel comfortable with them lasting a very, very long time under heavy use or even moderate use. Like I said, this one does seem to be a little bit thicker. I don't know if I can get these close enough in this camera to focus so you can tell. Might be able to tell that this OD green one's a bit thicker. It just feels a little bit better made. So if you can find the two, and the money thing is such an issue that you still have to buy these more affordable ones, go try to find this one in the OD green, and it'll have the two little pouches built into the front, and it's got the main thing that will tell you the difference, this little tab right here, because this one don't have one. But like I said, I'm going to carry one. I'm going to carry this one. And if I happen to known anybody that was real good with leather working, I could probably hand this thing to them and say, look, man, can you match the leather tooling and whatnot on this thing? Just thicker, more higher quality leather, some more heavier duty stitching back here. Make sure this is more robust. That way, this thing could potentially, if it's properly maintained, last for a couple of decades. That'd be my want to do. It's in closing here. It's funny how things change over time. Once upon a time, the purse, that was typically a bag worn over the shoulder, and that was most typically carried by men. The 90s had a hoot with fanny packs. It was like if you wore a fanny pack, you were absolutely just made fun of and socially ostracized. Me, I didn't care, because back in the 90s, I had them things set up for my little adventures and camping and all that stuff I like to do. Its convenience factor out, I just didn't give a crap. Make fun of me all you want. Didn't care. So I actually became a fan of fanny packs just for that reason, because, and in a way, those were belt pouches, because it's a pouch, it's on a belt. And this is more of a old school kind of style belt pouch. Now, a lot of them were just simple, if it was this size, but roughly the size it'd been, you just had an opening, it popped open, and you had a cavity. The whole thing was, good quality stitched leather. Those still exist out there. And there's one I've seen that I'm going to try maybe to pick up. I think I can afford to pick it up. It's fairly affordable, but it's a on the belt style kind of belt pouch. It's a more modern with zippers, and there's the reason I like those, because you don't necessarily have to have those preloaded. Now, you can always have your EDC. This me personally, and on this channel, I'm big on EDC, because wherever you are, whatever happens in your life, what's on you could very well be all you're going to have. So I very much support a robust EDC carry. I mean, whatever you can manage, just have what you can. And like I said, I've gone and talked about EDC quite a bit on here. Definitely some more dedicated videos there. I'd like to get it more fleshed out. Sometimes I get kind of rambly, but that's because I'm, real passionate about what I'm talking about. And it's so hard to convey the information, because you can't necessarily, I can't put what I know in my head into your head magically, and I can't, all my experiences, all the things I've seen happen to me and other people, and, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And my reasoning is based on my life experiences. So, and there's only a limited amount of information I can give you on a video that's not like crazy long. And that's just for simple fact is a lot of people just simply will not watch overly long videos much anymore. I usually push a lot of them getting in that 20 to 30 minute range, but you know, all you that like them, bless you. I greatly appreciate you watching them. Now these things, like I said, no, the concept is pretty solid. The only thing I think I need to do is just find some that are more tougher, or if I can find somebody local that's pretty good at leather work, I can, you know, hand these off, you know, just make these things more durable, long lasting, and, you know, I'll be more happy to pay you for your time and everything. And then I could have, you know, some very reliable felt pouches that fold out. You know, then I'll have all kinds of room to keep things. Now, if I ever do that, the end product and stuff, I'll be more than happy to show you guys. Coffee. Can't beat a good cup of hot coffee, guys, on a cold, wet day. And a good hot cup of hot cocoa too. That's right up there. All right, guys, we'll close this video out. Again, now you can find like a lot of this stuff on Amazon, but just shop around, guys. If it takes you an extra month or so to save up, you know, an extra $10-15 to buy a much better made one, yeah, go for that. Just try to save up and, you know, get at least one that's really good. And this isn't something, you know, you necessarily got to be a part of your EDC. You know, this is definitely something I'd more likely, I'm camping, out practicing skills, or a real situation. That's when I'll have them. So, in closing, guys, thank you very much for your time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, share the video if you would. Comments are very welcome. Just, you know, be respectful is all I ask. I try my very best diligence to answer all. I just respond to all comments, period. But I do enjoy interacting with you guys. So if you would, please leave a comment. I'll see y'all in their video.